What's up, my friend? David Moss Jr. here, and it has been 1 full year since I've made any videos around my ice barrel and my ice barrel chiller. Scratch that, back in July I made a video. It was kind of like my public frustration with some of the technologies that were not working in my ice barrel chiller. Immediately after posting that video, I had a great conversation with the founder, talked to the team there. They've rectified the situation, so I feel like it's time to give Ice Barrel another chance. Ice Barrel was one of the first companies to actually reach out to me, send me a barrel to use in my cold plunging adventure and use in my reviews, and there was no strings attached. So my heart has a very special place for Ice Barrel, and Ice Barrel has been a big part of my cold plunging journey, from literally going from a galvanized trough to a Rubbermaid tub to the Ice Barrel 400. Well, this is my original Ice Barrel chiller. After talking to the team, one would have assumed they would have just swapped it out. They didn't have to. They updated my system through Wi-Fi, and they updated everybody's through Wi-Fi, made some major update. I started getting DMs from so many different people who were experiencing a similar thing with the old setup of the chiller, and everybody's is working now. So this is great. Now, I feel confident making an updated video, and I wanna do a 1-year review. This is a 1-year review answering the top 5 questions that people have still today, whether the Ice Barrel 500 or the Ice Barrel chiller is a good setup for their home cold plunge system. So we're gonna answer those 5 questions, we're gonna talk about it. Let's get right into it. So the first question we're gonna talk about is, how durable is the tub? Well, I can tell you, if durability is what you're looking for, I don't know if there's really anything more durable than an ice barrel. I've literally thrown my Ice Barrel 400 off of the railing up here off this top deck to see how it would survive. It survived, no issues at all. I've thrown my Ice Barrel 300. I've thrown my Ice Barrel 500 just because it was easier to get down. No issues. These things are tanks. Now you see some scratches on this. You don't even see a lot of discoloration. This is my original Ice Barrel 500. I think my original review of this was back early last year. So it's been a year and a half, and this has been outside in the sun every day I've owned it. If you're not new to my channel and you follow me on Instagram for any bit of time, you have seen some of the other content I've made with this ice barrel. I used to read a morning devotion out of this ice barrel. This was the ice barrel that I originally did my DIY setup that thousands of people have followed. It's near and dear to my heart. I mean, this is a great setup. A couple of things that I like about it. Yes, it's durable. That's the answer to your question. It's durable. There are 2 chiller ports here on the side, one up high, one down low. There's a spigot built right in, so draining this thing is extremely easy. It uses a 3/4 inch MPT setup, so if you're connecting this to the Ice Barrel chiller, or if you're connecting it to any other chiller, you can using a 3/4 inch MPT male connection. If you don't know what any of that means, just follow my channel, subscribe. I have a ton of other videos on my channel already, and I've got some updates that I'm gonna be putting out there as well to show you all the different connections you can use with the Ice Barrel, because this is probably one of the most purchased cold plunge setups out of all of the other cold plunge setups. I mean, there was a time where discount code MOSS, MAUS, was used 200 times per month on Ice Barrel. So that's the durability. Now let's talk about the 500 itself. There is the 500, this is the big boy. Then they have the 300, it's a little bit smaller, a complete circle. And then they have the 400, which is the original Ice Barrel. That's the one that literally looks like a barrel of monkeys. There's no insulation on that one. We're gonna do an updated video on that one as well. But for this video, I wanna talk primarily about the 500. What I like about the 500 as the barrel itself is it's extremely insulated. It does only come in one color, and that is this black. A lot of the modular tubs that are similar to this discolor, especially the darker colors, especially the black. They discolor when they're in the sun. I live in Florida. All of my cold plunges are outside baking in the sun. So some of them have some discoloration that's really noticeable. I would say I expected a lot of discoloration from this one, being that it's literally on my top deck, baking in the sun all day long, but there hasn't been any discoloration at all. If anything, it looks better. It has a little bit of a texture to it. I think that might help. There's no real bubbling. Some of the first Ice Barrel 500s that were shipped had a little bit of bubbling. They fixed that problem. So, I mean, this is an old one. I don't have the newest one, and mine doesn't have any of that warping or bubbling. I'm impressed because I see that on so many of them, and I kind of expected it. But it's a great, thick, insulated tub. It holds the temperature really easy if you're using it with ice, or if you're using it with a chiller. The chiller doesn't have to work that hard, which that's great. Inside this tub, there is a bench that's built right here. So it's also a step. You have steps built into the outside here to make it easy for all members of the family to get in. Then there's a bench that you can step down into and then sit in this tub. This tub is designed to be sat in. It's not a lay down tub and it's not a squat down tub. You have a seat in there so you can sit in there. We're gonna talk about actual dunkability, usability inside the tub. At the end of this video, I'm gonna get in it, we're gonna demo it, we're gonna talk about it. But as far as the outside of the tub, as far as the durability goes, I don't know if there's a cold plunge out there that's more durable than this. I've literally been challenged by everybody from the Ice Barrel team to try to destroy this tub. I haven't been able to. So I love that that's part of my job. My job is I get to review all these products and the founders encourage me to try to break them, to try to damage them. And in some cases, I'm able to do that, but not in this case. Ice Barrel 500 passes the durability test over the tests of time. It's been over a year and I'm impressed with this system. If that answered your question, great. A few of the other details that you might wanna know is how much does this weigh? Because if you're buying a cold plunge, you're gonna have to move it and bring it places. I've drugged this all over the place, thrown it in the back of my truck, literally thrown it off of this balcony, and it weighs 104 pounds, which can seem like a lot, but it's a pretty big tub. 104 pounds isn't that much, and there are some built-in handles underneath to make it easy to get your fingers gripped in there. If you have a friend, it makes it easier, but I've drugged this thing all around the place and it hasn't had a single issue. It holds 94 gallons inside, and at time of recording this video, it currently costs $24.99 before using my discount code. This tub is a really good space saver. It's about 30.7 inches wide at the widest point and about 57.6 inches long at the longest point. I'm 6'1", you can see how tall it is, but it's a great space-saving tub. Now let's pop over to the chiller and talk about question number 2. Okay, question number 2, and this is a big question answering a lot of sub questions. Does the chiller actually work, and will it keep my water cold in hot temperatures? It's been up here. I've plugged this thing in, and since the video I made, they made the update through the airwaves, and it has been working flawlessly. I literally just changed the filter for the first time in over a year. The filter was green. I was surprised that water was still flowing through. It was. Now it's flowing through with a lot more pressure, which is great, but my water was still able to stay cold. It never had an issue. It still flowed. It still did its thing. I am impressed, to be totally transparent. I get to fool around with a lot of different chillers, and after having some issues with this in the beginning, I was about ready to throw the towel in on the Ice Barrel chiller. I mean, it's a premium chiller. It's got a premium price tag. This thing should work, right? I'm actually really relieved to report that it works incredibly. And this is as loud as it gets. It's an extremely quiet, extremely efficient chiller. You almost don't even know that it's on. Actually, the only time that I could tell that it's on is when I could hear some water dripping from inside here when I had the water line a little below the spigot. So you could hear a little bit of that water moving when we were downstairs in the yard and stuff. I'm like, oh, cool, it's on. That's actually how I realized that this thing was on the first time. So it does work. It's able to keep your water extremely cold. You can schedule your cold plunges, which is cool. It has a smart sense technology, so it's not always on. It's only on when it needs to be on. And if you schedule your cold plunges, it knows based on the ambient temperature in the air and the water temperature and when you want a cold plunge, it knows when it needs to turn on so that it can chill your water down to your ideal temperature when you're ready to use it. If you're somebody who cold plunges on a regular basis. Now me, I cold plunge all over this place. I cold plunge in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, I'm all over the place, but that's me, I'm a little bit different. So I have mine scheduled to run pretty much all day. I have it turn off in the middle of the night and I have it running pretty much all day to keep my water cold so I can jump in it at any time. Now there is an app you can use. It's the Ice Barrel app. It's a cool app and they wanted to set up like a community in there. So if you're somebody who seeks that cold plunge community, you like breath work, you like guided cold plunges, check out the Ice Barrel app in the App Store. Definitely worth taking a look at. But to answer the question, does this chiller actually work now? The answer is a firm yes. And similar to our conversations about the barrel, how durable is it? Well, it's been sitting up here baking in the sun for a year. And the only thing I noticed, like none of the screws have any rust on them, and some of the cold plunge chillers have had some rust show up. This one has had no rust show up anywhere. It still looks great. There's been no discolorations on the main system. The only discoloration is actually on the knob. It's got a little bit of a white. I don't know if that could be from some soap or something that I used early on. I don't think so. I don't know. That could be from the sun. It's really not concerning. It's just on the rubber dial. And I'm sure there's something I could put on it to take that like fading away. It's like a car. Like we got to take care of things that are going to be outside baking in the sun. But all in all, I'm impressed with how it's held up out here, every storm, Florida rain, every day. No issues anymore. And that makes me extremely happy to be able to say. And then the last two things you might want to know about this chiller is it does have quick connects to connect into the Ice Barrel, making it extremely easy to use with the Ice Barrel ecosystem. The chiller does weigh 65 pounds by itself, So kind of in comparison, the chiller weighs almost as much as the ice barrel. There's a lot going on in there. And at time of recording this video, it does cost $4,999 before using my discount code and link that will be down in the description if you decide you want to get an ice barrel product. This isn't me selling you any products. This is me sharing with you my experience after use. Let's pop back over to the Ice Barrel 500 and talk about question number 3. And that's this: is it practical to use? A lot of people compare the upright barrels to the lay down tubs. I have videos all over my channel talking about the difference between upright, lay down, which one's better, which one's really best for you. For me, I would say yes. I mean, I built a DIY cold plunge using a galvanized horse trough, and it was very small. If any of you ever saw that or ever did that yourself, you know what I'm talking about. You're kind of in there in like an active crouched position anyway. You just are kind of crammed depending on which size that you go with. When I got into the ice barrel for the very first time, it was such a new experience. I was able to get in it and squat down and kind of move around. I felt like I was active, which is a primal instinct. I mean, we have that primal instinct inside us. Usually when our body goes into fight or flight, we're not laying down in a bed. So there is a lot to the upright positioning, and a lot of people like the upright positioning a little bit better, but that's not the question. The question is it practical to use? When it was the Ice Barrel 400 and you had like the steps that could move around on the outside and it was a little bit taller, there was always that thought like, is this thing gonna fall over when I get in it? The answer is no. When you have that weight and it's on the base and it's on a level surface, it never happened to me, or it never happened with my kids or anybody playing around in it. But this is a very stable platform, and it has steps built into the side, designed so you can step into the bench and then get down into the deep water yourself. So the answer is yes, it's extremely practical. And a lot of people who use this tub prefer using this tub over some of the other setups because it is just that practical. You're getting in, you're able to sit down, you don't have to worry about sliding. It's just an easy setup for all ages, all skill types to really enjoy. So yes, this is a very practical tub. One of the questions a lot of people have is, can you fully submerge in this? Can you get your head underwater? I mean, I talk about that all the time. When you're cold plunging, the first thing I like to do is dunk my head fully underwater. I'm 6'1" and I can. There's a couple different ways, and like I said, at the end of this video, I'm gonna get in it and demo all that stuff. But there's a couple different ways that you can actually submerge in this, and it is rated for people up to 6'9". The main goal is getting the water up to your collarbone. That's really the main goal in cold plunging, and really, as long as you're getting in this thing and you're putting yourself in that uncomfortable position, you're gonna get some benefits out of it. Obviously, I love submerging and getting fully underwater, and to answer that question, I can. Does that mean you can? We all have different body types, so it might be a little difficult for some, it might be easier for some, but I can. So that means maybe you can too. And then one of the things that's great about this setup, I'm 6'1", 210 pounds. My wife is 5 foot even. We have 4 kids. I mean, from a 5-year-old to a 14-year-old. And we can all get in this tub and use it the same way. The bench isn't too high or too low. It's comfortable and it's safe. There's no like safety things. It kind of looks like a dunk tank, but with that bench in there, it's the perfect height. These are stable. Everybody can get in, everybody can get out. So it's a very practical tub for an entire family to use, I would say. Question number 4, how easy is this to clean and maintain? Well, I neglected this thing for a solid year and my water is still crystal clear. There is a pre-filter down at the bottom. That pre-filter is awesome. It prevents all bugs, dirt, debris that gets in the tub from finding its way in and damaging the system. So you always wanna have your pre-filter on that. Using this chiller, I'm impressed because there's a lot of chillers that claim to have different cleaning mechanisms like ozone and UV light and all these other things. This doesn't have any of that, but my water somehow has stayed crystal clear. So maybe there is something in there, I don't know. Maybe there's like a secret sauce in there like Krusty Krab. I don't know, but my water has stayed really clean. I just changed the filter for the very first time. The filter was green, but my water is clean. That's crazy. I do use hydrogen peroxide in here, but I haven't put any in a year. Like I've neglected the crap out of this thing and my water is clean. Now I can see some little floaty things. There's bugs in here. Obviously I've had the lid off and we're in that season here in Florida where I have a lot of those blind mosquitoes and they just love water. So right now my water has stuff floating around in it. It doesn't prevent me from getting in it. The sides are clean, and I think that also has something to do with this material. Like this material just doesn't seem to capture grossness like some of the other setups do. So this is the lid. There's no latch or anything, and it's sat up here. I've never secured it. The way they designed it, wind just rolls right off of it. Bugs can't really get in it, and it seals nice and tight. I mean, for a modular lid, a lot of these warp. This one hasn't warped at all. and that's impressive. The way it's designed, the rainwater can just roll off the side. It doesn't want to go inside the cold plunge, which is great. And it's sturdy too. I mean, like, if you need a place to put stuff, you can stand on top of the lid. It's not going anywhere. They did a great job with the durability of this tub. I said that in the beginning, I'll say it again, but the lid helps prevent things from getting inside it, and I think that's made a massive difference. I could say it's probably my easiest cold plunge to keep clean, because I haven't done anything. I actually neglected this thing for a while where I didn't even come up here. Like, I didn't even come up here and look at it. So yeah, it's easy to keep clean. And then question number 5, and probably the question on a lot of people's minds, is it worth it? Is the Ice Barrel 500 and the Ice Barrel Chiller actually worth the investment? That question isn't something I can really answer. You have a budget, you have a look you're going for, you have your desires. That's up to you. I mean, I review countless cold plunges of all different budgets, from DIYs to $17,000 cold plunges, and there's even more expensive ones than that. So it really comes down to you. Is it worth it to you? To me, it's a durable and dependable barrel, an easy setup, easy to maintain, and they have a great chiller that works really, really well with the ecosystem. So that's a question that you have to decide the answer for yourself. My goal is to just give you the best information so you can make the best decision for yourself. And I can tell you that after a year of this setup being out here, baking in the sun and actually working, I could say that I'm impressed. I'm impressed that it's working. I'm impressed that it's working right. I'm impressed that they listened when I had a problem. I'm impressed that they jumped on any problems that made their way to me. I sent it to the team and they jumped in, stepped in, and got those problems fixed. That stuff impresses me. I like having founders and teams involved that care. And there was a time with Ice Barrel that I was a little scared. I was scared that they weren't gonna make it, that there was gonna be some problems that were gonna cause them to shut down. We've seen that happen. We've seen a couple big cold plunge companies come, rise, and then fall. And it breaks my heart, because intent with these companies is to make an impact in people's lives in a good way, in a positive way. And cold plunging changed my life. Ice Barrel, Wyatt from Ice Barrel changed my life. I mean, I love you, Wyatt. I love you. I love the team at Ice Barrel. I got to come to the factory and see all of this stuff. I'm really thankful that you guys were able to figure it out and get through the problems and get the chiller operating like a premium chiller should. And it's impressive. And I hope if you've watched this video that you can feel my heart a little bit. This is a video that I felt like I needed to make probably months ago. I really just wanted to keep testing this. I wanted to make sure that before I made a video saying, hey, I can recommend this again, that it worked. And it's not just a replacement chiller. It's not just a new product that's easy to review. I mean, these have been used and abused and neglected, and right now they're working great. I'm just glad that Ice Barrel is here. I'm glad that they've got good products, good teams, and the future looks bright. One last thing, I mean, like, I have a few friends that don't have a permanent residence, and Ice Barrel's been a great product for them because it's easy to move. I mean, think about this, like, most of the cold plunges aren't that easy to move, to be totally honest. But with this, you could take the chiller and stuff apart, put it inside of it. It gives it a nice cushiony like place. And then you can take this thing, throw it in a U-Haul and move it across the country. And you really don't have a lot to worry about. There's not a lot of damage that can happen to this thing. So it's a very durable, dependable cold plunge, especially if you're somebody who doesn't have a permanent residence. And if you have a permanent residence, I think it looks pretty cool. I like that it's all black. It has that stealthy look. A lot of people like that look, including me. So that's a lot of my opinion. And my goal with this video is to just answer the top questions, the top 5 questions that I get on a daily basis about the Ice Barrel, and try to put into a video to make it easy for you to figure out the answers for yourself. Because this is all my opinion. At the end of the day, what's best for you is what's best for you. Well, now, like I promised, let me get in this thing and actually demo it. All right, so I get to climb up these stairs, step into the bench. Whoo, whoo, yeah. This is the deepest part, and now I'm gonna sit. Whew. Oh, shoot. Whew. Oh. Whew. I'm not even sitting on the bench, to be honest. I'm like floating. So that's the other thing too, is like, if you are shorter, you gotta remember your body's buoyant. So when you're sitting in water, like, you're not gonna sink to the bottom. Like, I think sometimes people look at bigger cold plunges and they're like, oh, it's so big, I'll sink to the bottom. You won't, especially because, like, if your feet are in like an active pose, you can kind of pogo yourself up and put yourself in the position you want to be in. So it's a wide cold plunge. It fits my body type perfectly. I really think, like, there's not a lot of wasted water. 94 gallons is not a ton of water, which is good. It's by design. That means that's less water that your chiller is having to cool down. That's less water that your filter is having to clean. And that's probably why this cold plunge has stayed clean and stayed operational with so much neglect over the past year. The edges are round. There's a little texture, so when you do go to get out, you're not slipping, which is nice. So now let me demonstrate how I would submerge. There's a couple different ways and it just depends on how limber you are. You can just kind of scoot your butt all the way back and literally just dunk your head forward like this, cross your legs. That's probably the most used way to fully submerge. You can kind of come over here onto the side, because you can also sit like this, and now I'm in the deep end. Like now I'm in the deep end and I can sink a little bit. You can do it like this and just kind of go off to the side. Which is once again a little different because you're leaning off to the side. You can also turn around and put your body into the deeper end, but this isn't really gonna solve any problems because you're still having to dunk forward. But people have done it. There's a lot of different ways. You can actually put your feet up here on the bench and sit down. Be safe, don't wedge yourself down there and drown. But that's it. Down here at my feet is where the water goes into the pre-filter, and right here at my chest is where the water comes pushing in, breaks up the thermal layer. And I mean, like, getting back into this cold plunge, I'm probably gonna start using this a little bit more now that it's working, and it's working great, and I just changed the filter. If you're looking to get an ice barrel, if this video popped up on your feed because you've been looking into ice barrel, I have other videos that I have no water in here, and they're deeper dives and deeper dive reviews of this exact barrel. I'll have that pop up here. I'll have it pop up on the screen. I think it's something you'll wanna watch next. And then if you wanna watch my original review of the ice barrel chiller when I pulled it out of the box and set it up for the very first time, it'll show you setup, it'll show you everything you'll need to know. So I'll have both of those videos pop up, but I really just wanted to make this video to answer the top 5 questions that I still get on a daily basis, and then also to say that I can still recommend ice barrel. And if you're looking to get one, I do have a discount code and link you're more than welcome to use, but you don't have to. It's totally up to you if you want to save some money. If not, I don't care. I just want to give you the best information so you can make the best decision for yourselves. I appreciate you for watching. Have a great day, my friends, and God bless.